best night ever. I just love the food.
गट्टे की सब्जी.
Gatti ki sabzi. Now I remember this time.
We are a bunch of trailblazers, a small family with young children on a mission to explore our beautiful world. The fineness of salt water gushing through our skin, through feeling the clouds on our faces, to admire the sun rays that rains on everyone equally. We are the Copyright Memories family, set about on a road trip to explore India in a unique way. We explored the Western Ghats, rode through 13 states in 26 days and drove 7,600 kilometers, experiencing the diversity and beauty of our country, India. Here is yet another story with parts of extraordinary experiences in an attempt to make a memoir for our young girls who may or may not remember all the wonderful memories we have created together as a family, but was worth all the crazy rides we did together. Day 1 in Rajasthan. Jaipur. It is the capital and largest city of Rajasthan. Jaipur was founded in the 1700s by Rajput monarch Jai Singh II, the Raja of Amer, after whom the city is named. So where else could we start our trip in Rajasthan but from the very Amer fort in Rajasthan? This palace, along with Jaigarh Fort, is located immediately above on the Hill of Eagles, commonly known as Chilka Tila, of the same Aravali range of hills.
They did painting on their face.
From Amer Fort, we went to visit the Nahargarh Fort in Rajasthan. Since it was a bit of an uphill, our younger one started feeling some funny feelings in her tummy. Though she had been on a mountain ride before, this was her first ride while she was up and awake. So she was feeling the motion sickness if she was given the screen. We had to ditch our iPads and screens to actually become a Koji. An explorer is not just someone who travels, but someone who learns about the place, and that's what we had to do.
I can see it. It's down.
What can you see?
It's like a little sand.
Since Car was most certainly going to be a place where we would spend most of our time, and it was a piece of our home that we traveled in our road trip, I had curated things for them to enjoy in while they stayed up, so we could play some games together or they could do some things to keep themselves busy on their travel journey. Their papa had made them a cozy bed set up in case they decided to sleep on. As a homeschooling family, learning is anywhere and everywhere for us. So I had also designed a journal for our older one so she could write things she sees that intrigues her on her personal travel journal. We got to see the city of Jaipur in a glimpse. The vastness of forts, the iconic view of Jaipur from Nahargarh Fort is simply stunning. Next up, we planned to stop for breakfast, but not just any breakfast, a humble breakfast with a majestic view. We went to see Hawa Mahal from the opposite side in a cafe. The busyness of the streets, the shops were halted to enjoy the view for a bit. Now that was done, we were all set to move to our next destination, Pushkar. Though it was a little off-route for our way to Udaipur, we wanted to hit it to experience the desert.
Look, I found the elephant from Ice Age.
Oh yeah, what is it called?
I don't know.
Mammal.
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 It's here.
From Hawa Mahal to Pushkar was roughly a 150-kilometer ride. The roadways were not troublesome, and we got to see some famous architectures like the Jal Mahal, City Palace, Jantar Mantar, all which we had seen earlier from our previous trip to Jaipur. So we just saw them from outside and headed straight to Pushkar. We reached Pushkar to see a big piece of land submerged in desert sand. A lot of camels, since the Pushkar Mela had just wrapped up a few weeks ago. So there were a lot of safari rides happening. Since it was otherwise hard to reach to this piece of land unless you had to hire a camel or use a 4x4, we got to experience it in our own car. And therefore, we experienced both the camel ride and the safari feel. It was a girl's first ever camel ride, and they were completely thrilled about it. While they enjoyed their ride, I hung out to socialize and enjoy some authentic feels of the place. Girls loved feeling the sand gush into their shoes through their toes. We sat there for some time to enjoy the hot sun and the Rajasthan feels. I loved seeing local crafts like bandhani and block print being worn by the localites just as much as they would like to sell it. While traveling roadways, we went the local streets, the places where we could almost smell the food being cooked, the culture that was adorned. We loved traveling through and visiting the local streets where things are a little more real, a little more authentic. Like this game we saw, which was called Chopat. It's an ancient Ludo game that is played in a bantering manner, commonly enjoyed by the social groups of old men in Rajasthani villages. And it made me wonder, just a few kilometers away from this place, people in cities have forgotten what it means to probably socially unite and play a game under a tree, to enjoy the nature while you laugh with your friends. This sight was truly enchanting for me, to see that some things are rather better when not changed. Next up, we are headed to go to Udaipur. It was going to be a long ride, and a tiring one probably. We had come a long way, and we had to make another long stretch of roughly 280 kilometers to reach to our hotel in Udaipur. The girls crashed into their snuggly beds after all the camel ride and playing in the hot sun, while we chatted away for hours. We reached our hotel with a newfound energy just to crash land. It had been a super long day. We had driven over 800 kilometers, over 19 hours, and I was ready to just drag myself to bed. But first, we enjoyed some traditional meal and went to resting time. What did you find?
I found a bug looking like a fake leaf. See it?
Yeah, it looks like a dried leaf. Day 2, how are you feeling, on? A sweet friend of mine packed gifts for our children for them to open each day, and that for sure created so much excitement for them to get back to the car and see what gift would they unravel over every day. It is a great hack for long trips parents. We head on to visit Amrai or Manji Ghat, from where we could get artistic view of Udaipur, and also on the adjacent of it was Lake Pichola. which is an artificial freshwater lake. It was named after a nearby Picholi village. This beautiful view of lake with a backdrop of green Aravali hills is something to pause and admire. And also, this beautiful man of mine who has boundless source of energy to drive and carry his girls and their belongings so gracefully. Yeah, there's a horse.
It's an ankylosaurus.
Okay.
And I'm sticking more of them to make dino water.
How was the lake?
Good.
Yeah. We are still in the state of Rajasthan, and we are going all the way to another state called Gujarat. Well, that's about it for our travel through Rajasthan. Stay tuned to see our travel stories across the Western Ghats as we head to the birthplace of the father of the nation, Gandhiji's Gujarat next.